Like Steve Jobs, Phil Knight is a brilliant marketing legend. It is said even Steve Jobs copied and was inspired by Phil Knight. Phil Knight is the founder of Nike and is the most influential businessman today. According to Forbes, he is the 26th richest person in the world with a net worth of $45.3 billion. Nike is one of the world's largest organizations with a revenue of $46.71 billion and employs over 70,000 people worldwide. It has market capitalization of $185.42 billion, which is more than big companies like AT&T, AMD, United Parcel Service, and Tata Consultancy Services. Want to know how Phil Knight founded Nike and what's his story? Watch the full video. Phil Knight, the founder of the world's largest shoe company, Nike. We at Business Chronicles tell the stories of extraordinarily successful people. Please subscribe to our channel to help us in making more videos. In 1938, Phil Knight was born in Portland, Oregon. He was the son of a lawyer and newspaper publisher William Knight and his wife Loda Knight. His father always encouraged Phil to push his limits. His father once refused to give him a summer job at his newspaper. Phil went to work for a rival newspaper. Knight attended the Cleveland High School in Portland and every morning ran home the full 7 miles and became a member of the track team. He went to the University of Oregon, where he was a middle-distance runner and was coached by Bill Bowerman. In 1959, he graduated with a business degree and joined the Army. He served for 1 year. Later, he enrolled at Stanford University for MBA, where he found his passion: to create a shoe business. He got an assignment at Frank Schellenberger's small business class where students have to invent a small business. Phil came up with the shoe business and he wrote the paper. Can Japanese sports shoes do to German sports shoes what Japanese cameras did to German cameras? In 1962, after getting an MBA degree, he made a trip to Japan immediately and started researching different shoes. He found a brand called Tiger Shoes, which was manufactured by a company called Onitsuka. He was impressed by the quality and price of the shoe, and he knew that was the right brand for his business. He contacted Onitsuka and asked for the samples. The company's executives asked him about his business. He had no business. He randomly said Blue Ribbon Sports of Portland, Oregon, and got the sample of 300 shoes. He went back home, joined Coopers & Lybrand as CPA. Later, he joined Price Waterhouse. He also worked as accounting professor at Portland State University. During the daytime, he was doing his job. At evening, he was working on his shoe business plan. In 1964, he contacted his former coach at University of Oregon, Bill Bowerman, and they both formed a partnership and invested $500 to form a new company called Blue Ribbon Sports. Phil Knight made a deal with Onitsuka, and Blue Ribbon Sports became distributor of Tiger shoes in the United States. Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman worked very hard. Their shoes from Japan were liked by everyone. They were having huge profits. They opened new stores in Santa Monica, California, and Eugene, Oregon. Although their business was doing very well, but still they kept the expenses to a minimum. Phil Knight did not take any salary. He was investing all profits back to the company, and he was working at Price Waterhouse and Portland State University to manage his personal expenses. In 1971, Tiger shoes were very popular in America. Onitsuka granted United States distribution rights to another company. There was no option left for Phil Knight, therefore he decided to start his own brand. One of his employees suggested naming the new company Nike after the Greek winged goddess of victory. In 1972, former student of Portland State University designed the first model of Nike, which they called Cortez. This model was very successful, and that year Nike revenue was around $3 million. Phil Knight's marketing approach was different than his competitors. He approached athletes and asked them to wear his shoes. This way, many other athletes were influenced and started wearing his shoes. The first one of such athletes who Phil approached was long-distance runner Steve Prefontaine. In 1978, tennis star John McEnroe wore Nike shoes. In this way, by 1980, Nike captured around half of the sports shoe market. The unique thing that Phil Knight did was he went to Japan and bought their shoes in the United States, as he once said. So the way to stay ahead was through product innovation. We were also good at keeping our manufacturing costs down. The big established players like Puma and Adidas were still manufacturing in high-wage European countries, but we knew that wages were lower in Asia. So, with great designs and quality, philknight exploited low-cost Japanese labor to manufacture shoes at cheap rates. In 1999, due to aggressive expansion strategy, Nike's revenue went to more than $10 billion. Nike stores were everywhere. It was in shopping malls. It had endorsements from celebrity sports players like Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods. His slogans like "Just Do It" made Nike the dominant shoe brand in the world. In 2003, Nike's international sales were larger than US sales. That was some achievement for philknight, and he thought that's the time to retire. In 2004, he resigned as the CEO of Nike and remained chairman to date. Philknight has done many charitable contributions. Over the years, Philknight has been beyond generous with donations. Some of his biggest donations have been in 2012 when he gave $125 million to the University of Oregon to advance cardiovascular health. In 2006, he donated $105 million to Stanford Graduate School of Business, which at the time was the largest ever individual donation to a business school. In 2016, he started scholarships in Stanford and donated $400 million. In 2016, he donated over $500 million for cancer research to the Oregon Health and Science University. In 2020, philknight and his wife was ranked fourth largest charity contributor with $1.37 billion in charitable gifts. Philknight came from a well-to-do family. His father pushed him to achieve that which he had not achieved before. He knew Asian markets are emerging and its labor is among the cheapest. He went to Japan and found Tiger shoes. He used his teachings from Stanford and convinced Tiger shoes manufacturer Onitsuka to give him the distribution rights in the US, which he got, and there was no turning back. Once he lost the contract from Onitsuka, he used the Asian labor and kept the prices down. Together with high quality and low manufacturing cost, gave Nike the competitive edge and made Nike the biggest player in the shoe market. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this.